You're listening to the All-American Actors Podcast, episode 39. In today's episode, we are talking all about how to identify your personal brand. That's coming up next. Ready to go behind the scenes and learn what it really takes to build a sustainable career as a working actor in the U.S. film and TV industry? Join me, Katherine Beck, your All-American Accent Coach, as I give you the insight and inspiration to take action on your career. Learn my best tips and tricks to performing with an American accent, and hear from working actors and other industry professionals to give you a comprehensive overview of this biz we call showbiz. This is the All-American Actors Podcast. We will jump into today's episode in just a moment, but first I want to give a big shout out to Henry Gibb, who sent me this 5-star review and says, "Great podcast. Katherine does an excellent job guiding actors in all areas. Her podcast is an excellent resource for those mastering the American accent." Wow, what an amazing 5-star review. Thank you so much, Henry. And yes, this podcast is aimed at giving you insight into all areas of the industry and to really inspire you to take action. So I am so pleased that you have recognized this within the podcast, and keep listening. Thanks so much. And if you're listening and loving this podcast, do me a favor, take just 30 seconds. That's it, out of your day. And if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe, tap those 5 stars, and leave us a 5-star review. It would mean so very much to me, and you'll even get a mention right here on the show. So if you are loving this podcast, go ahead and leave us a review. All right, let us jump into today's episode as we talk about identifying your personal brand, what that means, and why it is so important for you. As artists, we thrive on creativity, right? We love to be creative. And I know that is why I became an actor, because I absolutely loved performing on stage. I still do. I loved becoming another character and really stepping foot into their body and experiencing what they experience, and bringing my creativity out to the audience was an area that really made me feel alive and excited. But when I decided that I wanted to be an actor, as my career, what I didn't realize was that, signing up to be an actor, you really need to understand the business side of being an artist. And that definitely did not come naturally to me. And I wonder, is that an area that you also struggle with as well? The business side of acting. For me, I don't think I fully understand this idea of what a personal brand is and building my personal brand really until I became a voice coach. But over the years as an actor, both on screen and in voiceovers, I've learned what it means. But, it didn't really fully sink in until much later on. And I don't want you to waste the time I did. All those years of not really understanding and identifying my personal brand. So let's go through it. What you need to know to start crafting your personal brand and how that can influence the trajectory of your career. So what is a personal brand? What does it mean to be a personal brand? Well, for me, it basically just means really being thoughtful about who you are and your place within the industry. Understanding, for example, as actors, what roles you're right for, what roles you can connect to. And that really starts with identifying who you are. The roles that you play in day-to-day life are going to help you to identify just the beginnings of your personal brand. Now, chances are you really haven't given your personal brand much thought. Or if you have, I want you to ask yourself, do your assets fully reflect your personal brand? If you haven't done an audit recently at where you are with your promotional materials, now is as good a time as ever to go through that. So grab those headshot photos, grab your resume, your voice reel, your Instagram page, and let's get going. Now, if you've been thinking in the past that it's not essential to craft your personal brand and what you uniquely bring to your industry, well, then you could be wasting a lot of time and missing out on jobs. And it's not your fault if building a personal brand is not on the top of your priority list, if it's not the first thing that you think of in terms of being an actor or being an artist. If you went to drama school, for example, like when I went to school back in my day, there were no business classes in our curriculum to learn how to market ourselves as actors. And what a shame that was, because if you're not thinking about how you position yourself as an actor, then how will you get noticed in a crowd full of actors that look just like you? So let's start thinking about where you fit within the industry. What kind of roles do you want to play? What genres do you want to work in? Now, have a look at your materials. Do your headshots, does your resume, your voice-over reels, do they reflect your personal brand? Do they reflect truly who you are? We want to see you as you are so we can get to know the real you. Now look at your Instagram account, and if you don't have one, well, then maybe you need one because it could be a good start to developing your personal brand. And I know there are quite a few casting directors I've heard that really do like to have a look at your Instagram account. So now might be a good time to start that Instagram account. And also look at any other social media accounts that you may have, anything from Twitter to Facebook to TikTok to YouTube. And do these accounts, do they reflect who you are and the roles that you want to play? Be specific and be thoughtful about the things that you post as well. Every time you post something, there should be an outcome attached. So rather than just randomly posting something just to post, give some thought into it. What's the strategy behind it? How does it reflect your personal brand? Now, what you will see is that when you start working with the vision of your personal brand, you can be more strategic with your career and establish this with your representation as well so that they're aware of this vision you have set out for yourself, for your career. That's the beginning steps of developing your personal brand, and now it's really up to you. Take today to have a think about what you really want. Who do you want to portray as part of your personal brand? Who is the vision that you see that you want to bring towards your roles and what you uniquely bring to the table as being an actor? Take today to have a think about what you really want and assess if your promotional materials truly reflect that thinking, and start making shifts in your postings that move you just one step closer every time towards embodying and presenting your true personal brand. And let me know how you go with working on your personal brand. Send me a DM on Instagram at Katherine_Beck_. I'd love to know how you go and what you thought of this episode. Take a screenshot of the show, share it with me on Instagram stories, and don't forget to tag me in it. All right, that's it. Thanks for listening to today. And remember, if you have not yet grabbed my free American accent guide that will break down my step-by-step process to getting you sounding all American, it's yours. Just head over to katherinebeck.com/accent. And coming up next week on the show, we are going to be talking about your headshots, what you need, how often you should update them, and what the U.S. film and TV industry want to see from your photos. Now, make sure to share this show with all your actor friends. Let them know what's coming up next week and invite them to tune in with you and learn how to become an all-American actor so you can be the working actor you dream to be. Until then, go practice your American accent, and I'll see you back here next time.